The biggest twist yet in the race to the White House. U.S. President Joe Biden has finally called it quits as the Democratic contestant. He will not be standing for re-election, and he has named Vice President Kamala Harris to lead the Democratic Party's ticket against Donald Trump. Well, this comes after weeks of pressure from trusted lieutenants, former presidents, potential donors, Democrat lawmakers and senators, and also widespread public opinion in America. The 81-year-old president finally decided on Sunday morning to pass the torch, as many called it. Biden tweeted a note addressed to my fellow Americans saying he believed it to be in the best interests of the party and the country to stand down and focus on his duties as the president. He also said he would be addressing the nation later this week. Minutes later, another message, this one addressed to my fellow Democrats. He said, I'm quoting here, "Full support and endorsement for Kamala Harris to be the nominee of our party this year." Biden also recalled that picking Kamala Harris as vice president in 2020 was his first decision as the party nominee that year. Over the last few weeks, Vice President Kamala Harris has acted as the White House's first line of defense, particularly after Biden's faltering performance in the first presidential debate against Trump in Atlanta. 59-year-old Harris is the first woman, first black person, and first person of South Asian descent to serve as the U.S. Vice President. Harris said she intends to earn and win the nomination and do everything in her power to unite the country to defeat Trump. The Vice President and other Democratic Party leaders have expressed strong praise for the president for what they call his extraordinary leadership dedicated service. Kamala Harris has already got endorsement from former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, besides 79 of Democrat leaders as per a latest YouGov poll. But there's no clear support from former U.S. President Barack Obama, indicating a hesitation among several Democrats in accepting Harris as the party's White House nominee. Obama only tweeted that Democrats will name an outstanding nominee. It promises to be a long road ahead for the Democratic Party as it heads into its national convention on the 19th of August. And well, for more on President Biden's exit and his endorsement of Kamala Harris, we spoke extensively to Voice of America correspondent Jessica Stone. Listening to what she had to say on this.
Well, certainly they may well have opposition research on her just to advance their own preparation for the vice presidential debate that was supposed to be between the newly announced J.D. Vance, a senator from Ohio, and Vice President Kamala Harris, but may well be with someone else at the second place of the Democratic ticket coming up. And you know, they'd like to run against a very progressive candidate because they want to draw those contrasts between, especially on immigration policy, on foreign policy, a contrast between the way Donald Trump and his administration behaved in those arenas 4 years ago and the way that they see the world, especially on social issues, which of course motivate Americans heavily to go to the polls, on cultural issues, on sexual orientation, on issues around books in schools. These are motivating issues that Republicans have used to get people to the polls, and they can draw a pretty stark contrast, particularly with Vice President Harris and the Trump ticket. So I think they'll be up for the fight. They already have come out swinging, and that's no surprise when it comes to how the Trump campaign has typically operated.